Hey everyone, I hope you're having a good day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. I posted a poll in the community tab to see what topic to cover next, and the majority of you seem to be interested in Bouncer Soaring Blades, which I'll go over in this video, and the next I'll probably work my way down, as I had Bow on the list as well, followed by Talus, and whatever is interesting in the comments in that post. If you guys have a suggestion, please feel free to share it either in the comments below or on the poll post itself. I want to make guides for these weapons as well, so since most of you voted Soaring Blades, this video will cover that. Regardless, I'll try to be in depth with the Soaring Blades, what skills to put in on the skill tree, how the weapon playstyle is, and all that jazz. Anyways, the Soaring Blades is a dual blade weapon that focuses on summoning Photon blades constantly while attacking enemies. The weapon is focused on dealing physical damage to the enemies, so if you plan on playing Bouncer specifically for Soaring Blades only, I would recommend augmenting melee stats onto your weapons and armor. For the skill tree, the Soaring Blades doesn't have much compared to Jet Boots. In terms of spending your skill points, basically you'll need Defeat PP gain, which recovers PP by like 50% whenever a boss goes down, Physical Decline, which increases the chance of downing enemies with the Soaring Blades Photon arts, Decline Amplifier, which increases the chance even further of downing enemies. Fanatic Blade is an active that lets you fire up to 6 Photon Blades instead of 2 with a weapon action, including the 2 perks with Fanatic Blade Augment and PP Recovery. The Blade Arts Parry lets you guard an attack once in the middle of the Photoner. This, in my opinion, is not worth it, because you're only guaranteed a block once, and after that you're vulnerable regardless of what you do. If I were to be real with this passive, I'd say just throw it out the window. You can put the rest of the points into Defeat Amplifier and Partial Destroy Advantage, which nowadays in the Retem bosses, the bosses has parts that you must break in order to deal damage to its core, like Renus' tail and its 2 cores, and Didal's chest. The rest you can ignore because they're all beneficial for Jet Boots, and Soaring Blades cannot use techniques at all. But going over the Soaring Blade Photon arts, we have Destructive Stork, which lets you fly forward while swinging blades horizontally around you. You can press the Photon art again for the second variation that changes the direction vertically, and if you activate the second variation from the ground, you'll gain some height, but you won't gain height if you're already in the air. It does a good job at closing in on enemies, so there's that. Rampaging Harrier is a series of Photon slashes following up with Photon blades raining down on enemies. You can also change the second variation from raining down Photon blades to firing Photon blades towards enemies. That can cover some range from afar and track enemies down. It's very good for enemies that move too much, and it's also PP costly. So, Warring Pheasant makes your character spin while attacking moving forward, following up with a final slash. The second variation to this is you'll stay on the spot while increasing the speed of vertical slashes. The best part about these second variations is that you can activate it at any time after the first variant. So you could wait until like the last bit of the attack animation before the PA is about to finish at certain points to convert to the second variation. Some of these Photon arts has good crowd control when mobbing as well. And we have the weapon action that fires 2 Photon blades with a short cooldown in between. The Photon blades will stick onto enemies, and if they do get stuck on them, you'll be able to do bonus damage. So what I would recommend is, after your Photon art, let the animation finish, try to use the weapon action after so you can keep up with the DPS. The only thing that you cannot do is use the weapon action during Photon art. We can't forget about the Fanatic Blade active, which is probably the Soaring Blade's best piece, but the most laziest part of the weapon. This lets you fire 6 blades instead of 2 with the Augment skill by holding down the weapon action while running around aimlessly, and of course using it to attack enemies' weak points. I thought this would be the most satisfying piece for the Soaring Blades since back in base PSO2, where in base PSO2 we can cancel out of text and dash towards the direction while firing Photon blades. Probably more satisfying than what we have in NGS, where we just stand around and hold the weapon action. But it does a very good job at keeping up the DPS. The Soaring Blades doesn't have any fancy counters. The only counters that they can do are only the step counters, leaping forward and performing a double slash attack. If you want to count the weapon action for a PA parry, you can, but I'm not going to. If I were to be honest, I feel like they could have done better because this was not the play. But literally, that's pretty much it for the Soaring Blades. In terms if you want to multi-weapon the Soaring Blades, depends on which subclass of you're choosing. If you play Fighter Sub, there are multiple ways to approach this. One of them being Twin Daggers, as it provides a good counter, and if successful you can gap close with it. The daggers can also cover vertical ground as well with its acceleration drive after each dagger PA. Double Saber is also another good option, with the weapon action being another good counter source, but you won't have vertical ground coverage. Force subclass is good too, specifically if you're looking for a better PP recovery. Some Photon arts that the Soaring Blades have can be pretty costly, and since Force has access to the Talus weapons, you can use its weapon action to help regen PP back, kind of, and you have access to its PP conversion skill active that will give you PP back while consuming HP. Hunter's Wired Lance is a good choice too, but only if you want to gap close at almost any range close to you with its weapon action. The weapon action for Wired Lances has some good area effects, quote unquote AoE, and has access to omni-directional guard blocking attacks from all directions. And it already sounds better than the weapon action block that the Soaring Blades have. And landing attacks with the Wired Lance weapon actions grant you a PP back as well. But then again, it all depends on your playstyle, right? These are just a few examples that I would do or suggest if you want to follow this route, but yeah, that's about it. After reviewing the video, I forgot to mention that the physical decline skill, you'll notice the 3 levels when you attack enemies, and it will show the debuff next to the enemy's name, starting from stage 1, and it can go up to 3. I hope this video helps understand the Soaring Blades. I know that they don't have much to provide because there literally isn't, and if you multi-weapon the Soaring Blades with the ones I mentioned earlier, probably would provide a better usage for countering attacks or gap closing. But yeah, that's all I have basically for Soaring Blades. Please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below if you have any questions about Soaring Blades. And yeah, otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!